I think Tennessee has a core problem that they're not going to be able to overcome. Chaz Lanier has a funky shot, and he has two shots, which is even more troubling. There are times when he gets it clean and he pushes it out in front of himself. Now, that might not burn him from a shot blocking perspective in college, but it's going to just destroy. He's going to get destroyed in the NBA if he shoots it like that. The other issue is that he sometimes does drop it back behind his head. And so that inconsistency makes you insecure about shooting. And what has he not been doing, Caleb?
Consistently shooting.
Thank you. Thank you. I saw it early and I want to sit on it and rest on it. That's a problem. And it's time to just completely take off the Chaz Lanier is going to replace Dalton Connect. We need to go back to where you were, and that was a group, a collective effort has to replace Dalton Connect. It's not going to be one dude. It's not going to be Darling Stone. It's not going to be Igor, and it's not going to be Chaz. It's going to have to be the collection of them all.
Yes, it's going to have to be the collection. So Tennessee lost to Vanderbilt over the weekend, 76-75. And it was obviously a tough loss. Both basketball teams, men's and women's, lost by 1 point at Vanderbilt on separate days in ways that they shouldn't have been losing. So to start with Tennessee men, and we'll stick with that, they lose 76-75. A lot of things went wrong throughout the game. I mean, they let Vanderbilt build a 16-point lead because they made untimely mistakes. Zakai Ziegler got in foul trouble early. Tennessee got really outworked in the half-court game and in the paint. Dave, they shot 10 of 21 from three, 17 to 21 from the free throw line, and only had 11 turnovers. If you're Tennessee basketball, and Chaz Lanier was fine, 4-6 from three, if you're Tennessee basketball, that should be enough to win the game. In Rick Barnes' era, that's typically enough. The defense in the half-court game and in the paint was an issue, but they overcome it. They come back. And a lot of people came at me on Twitter over the weekend because I said Chaz Lanier choked. Well, guess what? He choked. And people are going to...
Did you mean, and we didn't have a chance to communicate out. Very good call, though. Did you mean specifically just on the final free throw or throughout the game?
I mean, the last two drives.
Okay.
The last two plays. Chaz Lanier, that play was designed for him to play before when he had the ball with a chance to go up for a layup to tie it. When you beat a guy off the dribble like that, Dave, it's on you to make the proper, to properly time when you're going to jump for the layup to make sure the shot doesn't get blocked. And it's on you to be aggressive and make sure you properly finish at the rim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for Chaz Lanier to let that shot get blocked, you can talk about it being a great defensive play, and it was. If you do what you're supposed to do to finish at the rim, your shot's not getting blocked. You're either getting fouled or you're finishing hard or you're getting an and one. So that was on him.
Now, I'm not a big use the word choke fan. That's fine. You can use it. And I think that you've got a strong argument for it because he also had he had a really bad missed shot from mid-range down the stretch that ended up turning into a three-pointer. He had another turnover that turned into a three-pointer. So,
and then most notably, just to point out at the end, he had a chance to hit a free throw to tie it up after he got the magic foul and he missed it. That was his only missed free throw of the game. That's a choke job.
All right. So let me ask you this, just purely based off that game, not before. We're going to play Hot or Cold, brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. And I'm going to start with coaching in that game. Brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. It's hot or cold. Tennessee's coaching. Are you hot or cold on the Vols?
Hi, Mike Davis here with City Heating and Air, reminding you to always dare to compare. Our team provides quality local heating and air service, installation, and maintenance across East Tennessee. We use only the best equipment like American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. Honesty, dependability, and customer satisfaction have been the cornerstones of our business since 1961. City Heat and Air.
Chaz Lanier, hot or cold, brought to you by City Heat and Air Conditioning.
Cold, because He's everything you still expect him to be, except your point of the shot, of the way he holds the ball trying to shoot. And me, I don't think he's clutch, and not being clutch is a big deal. So
well,
hold on
I'm
that.
not going to say he's not clutch yet, but I will say this: missing a free throw like that can get in your head. So I've got to go cold on him, and I'm talking about compared to where we were the day before they played.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. The greatest example of that. Do you remember the 95 NBA Finals between the Magic and the Rockets where Nick Anderson missed 4 free throws?
Oh, I do, yeah.
One.
I do.
Nick Anderson was like a 75-80% free throw shooter, and the rest of his career he was in the low 60s from the free throw line. Never recovered from that game. And so that's a good point. So you're right. I'm already cold on his lack of clutch gene, and now I'm not so sure that won't get in his head.
All right, so let's move on here. Darling Stone Dubar, hot or cold?
Ooh, Darling Stone Dubar.
I feel like the temperature should be set right at 70. I don't really have a strong feeling either way. So if you just want to say put her at 70, brought to you by CD.
I think I'm gonna go 70, but I'm gonna go not his fault, because we'll get to the person at fault.
Okay. Igor Milichik, hot or cold?
Cold after last weekend. And you know what? People are going to be like, oh, but he had 16 points. Dave, did you see the way Tennessee got worked in the paint by Vanderbilt's offense in the paint was just dominant. And that's because Igor Milichik was not effective. He's a stretch 4. But part of the idea of being a stretch 4 is you can defend the 3-point line and the post. He seems like he's only a perimeter player who's just tall.
Yep. All right. Now, let me ask you about this one. Tennessee's coaching in that game.
So, okay, I'm cold. Let me qualify this. On the surface, on paper, there's nothing wrong with losing to Vanderbilt 76-75 at Memorial Gym. Anybody who knows that gym knows it's the most difficult gym to play in as a road team. And
by the way, what a bunch of losers that charge the court. You just beat Tennessee. I mean, I know they're good, but I don't know.
So there's that. But also, but Vanderbilt winning, they're a good team, and you played them on the road. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm cold on coaching because I'm just going to say it. In typical Rick Barnes fashion, this Tennessee team, Dave, is starting to look tired because Rick Barnes is playing 6 guys 30 minutes. Off the bench, Dave, he played Cade Phillips 9 minutes, Darling Stone Dubar 7, and Bishop Boswell 2. Only one guy off the bench played double-digit minutes. Rick Barnes, once again, is using his starters way too much, and that's going to get them beat in March.
Yeah, I didn't like the final play call too. I would have gotten the ball to Igor. I felt like he was the best scoring option at that point. I thought you could have run a little pick, get it to him underneath the basket and do something there, but that's not what they chose to do.
That play was fine though. Chaz Lanier had the look. He was too soft going to the basket.
Yeah, but you just said Chaz Lanier's not clutch.
No, but okay, but like that's based on what I saw on Saturday. I don't know what level of evidence Rick Barnes had before then.
I kind of felt it.
I felt like Rick Barnes was trying to make Chaz Lanier more aggressive. And so I was nervous about it beforehand, but I couldn't definitively say not clutch. Didn't find other ways to score against Florida. Refused to take that shot Rick Barnes called for him against Texas. I think Rick Barnes was trying to get him to take that shot. And again, he had a look. That was a heck of a look. I can't blame Rick Barnes when the look is right there. What I'm blaming Rick Barnes for, again, is the number of minutes he's got guys logging. Dave, the reason Tennessee got outworked in the paint in this game, because people kept talking about they were losing in the paint, they're tired. They're tired.
Yeah.
And it's already showing. And I'm going to write a column. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. But look, I'm sorry. They should, in this era, in the SEC, in this year in the SEC, given the grind, load management may need to be a thing.